Hello, and welcome back to another review on the MW Futures Liquidity Scalping algorithm. This review will be in regards to a trade I did yesterday on February the 6th, 2025. There were no setups before 9:30, but let's have a look at what happens after 9:30 and walk you through everything that I thought and what my algorithm thought as well during this trade and setting up the trade. So to start off the day, we know that the weekly bias and the daily bias were bullish and that we were below the midnight opening price. So that means that whenever we remain in this area, so below this dotted line, the midnight opening price, we are looking for longs and we are not looking for anything else. For your information, the settings that I'm currently running on the scalping algorithm are near the default settings that come out of the box. The only thing that I changed a little bit is my stop loss and the minimum handles for the first take profit target. So right now what we see at 9:30 is that there are 7 bullish liquidity pools. As you can see, the blue lines over here, and we have a clustering of liquidity pools over here. We also see that there are 3 bearish liquidity pools. So if we are looking at the higher time frame bias, which is bullish, and the confluence of having more buy-side liquidity than sell-side liquidity, this is just a confirmation for a higher probability setup. So let's see what happens after 9:30 and what the first presentation for value gap will give us that is generated over here. So it does take some time before first presentation is formed. As you can see, this is the 9:30 opening candle, but for the first presentation for value gap to form, it cannot form on the 9:30 candle itself. The for value gap it can form on the 9:31 candle, but it is always formed after 9:32 because you will have the first candle, the second candle, and then the third candle. This itself, yes, it is a fair value gap, but it's not a high probability fair value gap that will always give something. So let's have a look at when first presentation is formed. So first presentation is formed and it took out 3 buy-side liquidity pools already. So at this moment, my minimum handle for first take profit is 35 handles. So if I want to have a trade, I know that at least the first profit target should be here. So 35 handles away from this. That means that currently there is, even though that the first presentation is formed, it will not enter a trade because the first profit target that was formed after this candle, after first presentation, is only 21 handles. So what I want to see right now is that these 2 liquidity lines, those bullish liquidity pools, that they will be taken out, and then I will be looking for an entry because then the liquidity pools correspond to my initial target of 35 handles. So let's see if that happens. If you have the default settings, then it would actually already have tagged you in right here. Alright, so as you can see, that liquidity pool has been taken out, and now the minimum handle run to the next liquidity pool is 41 handles, meaning that my criteria of having a minimum handle run of 35 handles is satisfied. So why does it show this green line over here at, let's see how many handles that is, at 30 handles? The reason is that even though my first criteria for minimum handle run to the next liquidity pool is 35 handles, the actual first profit target I set at 30 handles. So let's see if we are getting tagged in. We are getting tagged in over here. So also it is interesting to note that yes, I got tagged in. We are going to get very close to our stop loss, but as you can see, we keep respecting the fair value gap. We never close below it. So that's very nice. I like seeing that. Like if we would close more to the lower quadrant of the fair value gap, then I would be a little bit more worried. But right now, I'm not worried at all. It just tagged us in. It has a little bit of drawdown. That's fine. As you can see, the profit targets right now with the current liquidity pools and the first minimum handle run are being set. So we we sell free contracts at 818, free contracts at 830, and free contracts at 833. As you can see, price does sadly fluctuate a little bit in the first position fair value gap. This period, if you are not an experienced trader, this can cause some anxiety, but during this trade, honestly, I was streaming it in the MW Futures Liquidity Scalping server, and I was actually very relaxed during this period of time, even though that it were 9 minutes in drawdown. I was like, okay, we still did not really close in that lower quadrant. We are relatively respecting consequent encroachment. As you can see, we never close below consequent encroachment of the fair value gap. So I was still convinced that we will go up, and my algorithm as well. At 10 o'clock though, a new liquidity pool has been drawn for the opening range. So the opening range is 9:30 to 10. As you can see, a new liquidity pool here was drawn as well. And that changes the way that the profit targets have been set up. So in before we only had one liquidity pool here. Now we have two liquidity pools. So the take profit targets have changed to, instead of 3, 3, 3, now it is 4, 2, 2, 1. Okay, and shortly after, so let's see, 11 minutes in, we have our first take profit target. We move our stop to break even, and we see that with our moving stop to break even, that our take profit targets have changed as well to 1, 1, 1, 1 at these price levels. And that is actually also what I followed. And if you notice, I entered with 9 contracts, we sold 4, and there are 4 profit targets over here. So that means that there's still 1 contract in the running. And that's also what I did. In the end, you will see that I had 1 contract running, and eventually we will get stopped out with that running contract, but that's totally fine. So our whole trade to our main profit targets was 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, and the total handle run of our profit targets was 45 handles. So this is a very nice setup. It was on micros, not on the mini contracts. Why? Because I traded with my live funded account, not live funded account, with my live M global account, and I do not have the margin yet to trade actual minis with this current setup, because it's like the account is 21,000 and the minimum margin requirement to trade a mini is 22,200. So as you can see, price will just keep moving on, and eventually we will hit our stop loss with that 1 remaining contract. If I hide the strategy and show my executions, it should show. It doesn't here, alright, it doesn't do it in bar replay. If we go to the live chart again, you can see that these were my trades, sort of. I changed the contract sizing a little bit, but the idea remains the same. So I bought 9 contracts. Let me draw the first presentation again. There we go. So I bought 9 contracts here on the fair value gap high. Our first profit target over here. Second profit target, third, fourth. And then our break-even stop loss with our running contract. Also, I took those trades on 2 150k funded accounts. I also traded the micros on those. So in total, the live AMP account had a profit of $600, and the 150 to 150k funded accounts had a profit of $200. So we ended the day with a total profit of 1,000 US dollars, which is a very solid trade. I can say nothing against it. If you have seen my daily bias video, which I upload every day, then you know that this was the trade that I was looking for around this time. I uploaded the daily bias video, I think, somewhere here on 9/26. It was a little bit late because I was still programming a few things, but this was what I was looking for. Also, what I was looking for on the 2024 mentorship model was actually sales and sales from first presentation. But the opening range gap that there was just a small opening range gap of, I think, 15 handles, and it was something like this. So that's the reason why I didn't trade the 2024 mentorship and I went with the scalping method today. Hopefully this is a good and nice explained case study for you. If you have got any questions in regards to it, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And if you want to support me, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye!